Depending on who you talk to, Cardano may either be described as a ghost chain that has been grifting its holders for years, or the one and only blockchain that truly has the capabilities to give Ethereum a run for its money. And although I will admit that I have sipped the Cardano Kool-Aid and have, at times, been fired up by the inspirational speeches of Charles Hoskinson, there are times where I definitely question the development of the project and, even more importantly, the safety of my investment. I mean, watching the price of ADA drop is just difficult. But what is not difficult is to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because today you're going to learn about a few new Cardano updates that are really important to know. I'm going to present to you the updates, but also explain why they matter and what they can mean to you. And of course, none of this is considered financial advice. This is all for entertainment purposes only. So let's jump in. So Cardano has a quiet reputation for consistent development and is frequently recognized as one of the most active projects on GitHub. But in regards to the ADA token, win moon, right? I mean, it is comforting to know that the project is staying busy, but how does that translate into usefulness? But again, more importantly, how does that translate into bigger gains for ADA holders? Well, in my opinion, the answer lies in knowing the updates and how they apply to the industry. So, what has Cardano been up to lately? Well, one of the biggest announcements and something I'm super excited about is the Vassal hard fork that is coming in June 2022. I mean, this update is big because it introduces a technique called diffusion pipelining to the Cardano blockchain. But before I go into detail about what this means, let me back up and explain the problem that it solves. So, with the somewhat recent launching of smart contracts on Cardano, the blockchain has experienced a surge in users. And with more users and with more activity comes potential for block congestion. In fact, SundaySwap, a DeFi app that recently went live on Cardano, received a wave of criticism because at launch, transaction times to settle a swap took hours to complete, which offered a sort of frustrating user experience. And you know what? I would agree. Slow technology in a fast-paced world is just unsustainable. And if transactions are slow with only a handful of dApps, I mean, what does that mean when more technology is actually built on the blockchain? Well, the reason it was slow was because of how many transactions Cardano can process, or I should say allows to be processed per block at this time. Because of their current block size, which is around 80 kilobytes, transactions are limited. So why not just increase the block size to speed up transactions, right? Well, Cardano has increased the block size limit, already 25% this year, and has plans for future increases. But the reason they're delivering a paced out increase schedule is to offer better security to the network. So Cardano is scaling and on pace for long-term growth. But what about in the short run? Well, diffusion pipelining is the answer. Now, if you speak tech, then you may be interested in the blog post on the IOHK website that goes into more detail about diffusion pipelining and how it actually works. If not, to sum it up, pipelining allows the network to increase throughput without compromising security. So it's like having the best of both worlds in their current circumstance. And this is important and timely because in a post on Twitter, Dr. Shweta pointed our attention to the fact that Cardano currently, not in the future, currently has over 517 projects building on the blockchain right now. I mean, that's a lot of projects, right? And our good old buddy Charles confirmed that a big wave of them will be launching in June when the network can properly support the activity. So, June is going to be a big month for Cardano and for Cardano holders. Now, in the same post by Dr. Shweta, we get a glimpse into the near future for Cardano and the projects that will be launching on the network. And, what I find most fascinating is the almost 35% of the new projects being NFTs. Let me remind you that Cardano already has NFTs, but with such a significant number of new NFT projects being built on the network, to me, this points to the significant opportunity that is actually out there. You see, one of the reasons the Ethereum network is so dominant is because of the current NFT movement. Because ETH, the native coin for the network, is basically the gas needed to fuel NFT transactions, it causes positive price movements for the coin. So, as we've seen, NFTs have proven to increase the value of coins. Now, think about this. OpenSea, arguably the biggest NFT marketplace in the space, just celebrated an incredible milestone earlier this year, locking in 1 million active users. Now, 1 million people in the NFT market is a large number, but really it's only a small fraction of the potential pie. Just to put this in context for you, Amazon currently sees about 200 million people on a monthly basis. Now, I know this is apples and oranges, but the point being that the NFT market has barely scratched the surface, and Cardano developers are positioning themselves to capture the future market share. Again, this is good news for the viability of the network and potentially great news for the price of ADA. And it would seem that the community agrees with me. Despite the price of ADA being, a little ways away from its all-time high, the confidence in Cardano is growing. In a recent Twitter post by on-chain data provider Masari, it has been reported that Cardano has recently reached 5 million wallet addresses. And just to put that in perspective for you, just 1 year ago, at the beginning of 2021, Cardano was praised for reaching 200,000 wallet addresses. So 200,000 to 5 million in a year. To me, that shows incredible growth for the network and incredible confidence in the direction of the project. So, like when I hear people on social media bashing Cardano, I never hear them talk about like actual growth or mention the actual developments of the project. And I will say that it's partly Cardano's fault. Their team is just quietly developing, moving the project forward. And although their developmental approach is calculated and put in place to avoid scaling issues like Ethereum is facing, or avoid having to pause the network like the outage Solana experience. And again, this is no hate. I hold Ethereum and Solana. I like both projects, but watching a project conservatively grow is kind of like watching paint dry. It's a little boring. So when I read that Cardano has just increased its block size to 80 kilobytes and has recently increased its script memory units from 56 million to 62 million, to me, I get excited because that communicates growth to me. That tells me that the developers are satisfied with the operation of the network and feel confident in moving to the next stage. But when Moon, right? Cardano is playing a different game. They recognize that blockchain adoption is a long road and its use case is basically unlimited. We as crypto investors, we're focused on how to get our hands on a Lambo this year, but the Cardano team is focused on how to get their technology into the hands of our great-great-grandchildren. Overall, the progress Cardano has made has renewed my bullish sentiment on the project. I'm excited for the Vassal hard fork and the prospects of some really interesting projects that will come with it. I'm also excited about the incremental growth of the network because this tells me we're right on track. Now, we may still be months away from being able to flip a digital monkey for millions of dollars, but with the increase of wallet addresses and a solid direction for monetizing the network, this summer should bring some heat to the price of ADA. But let me know your thoughts. How do you think the Vassal hard fork will affect the price of ADA? Please let me know in the comments. Also, in regards to the Cardano project, what has you the most bullish? Please let me know in the comments. Lastly, I want to thank you for your time. Your time is important to me, so I do hope you found value, and until next time.